don't have any special powers.
Oh, I have one, Johnny. I never give up.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for the issue we're about to look at today. Batman 429, the last part of Death in the Family. And so, great cover by Mike Mignola. This is by Jim Starlin with Jim Aparo and Mike DiCarlo. Mike Mignola does all four covers. I have this series completely serialized. I do have a Batman playlist that includes lots of stuff. I'm covering their 70s things and their 80s, and we're just kind of, everything's in order. So, just if, I'm covering the entire Jim Starlin run, and then I'm trying to cover the Denny O'Neil run also. Once I'm done with the Starlin run, then we'll move a little bit more forward into it. There are some stuff, but that we'll get to. So we're kind of doing the Bronze Age late, because the 80s are not considered part of the Bronze Age. So we're doing early Bronze Age, late Bronze Age at this moment. So, Robin is dead, murdered by the Joker, and the Batman can do nothing about it. Or can he? So, we're going to pick this up here. Chapter 6. Now, the reason it's Chapter 6, not Chapter 4, is because issues 1 and 2 were double-sized. So, they each contained, it was literally 2 issues each. So, all right. So, here we go. His name is Ralph Bundy, a CIA agent. The president sent him to talk to me. I already know what he's going to say, but I listened to him anyway. Jim Starlin is a first-person type of writer, so at least during his Batman run. So, the issues are... this issue apparently is in Superman's first point. So... It's like this, Batman. Or maybe it is Batman and not Superman. So, my bad. You take out the Joker, and it's going to cause a major international incident. The State Department's currently in the middle of some very delicate negotiations with Iran. And Batman says, another arms for hostages deal. This is, of course, based on... what happened in the 80s. So, the Iran-Contra. Here we have our credits. Jim Starlin is the writer. He's almost done. Only a couple more issues left, and we'll be done with him. Jim Aparo is the penciler, and Mike DiCarlo. So, that's none of your business. Guys like us should just do our jobs and let the big shots do theirs. They know what they're doing, and they say hands off Iran, they know what they're doing, and they say hands off Iran's new UN ambassador. Understand? And Batman just stares at him. The Joker's got diplomatic immunity. State doesn't want anyone messing with him, especially you. You can't be serious. The Joker's a homicidal maniac. They only made him ambassador so he can kill someone, probably the entire UN General Assembly. And Bundy says, we've got no hard evidence to prove that. Until we do, the Joker has to be treated like any other delegate. And Batman says, the attitude is as insane as the Joker himself. Maybe, but but that's the way it is. And Batman says, not for me it isn't. Afraid so, pal, says Bundy. The president asked this gentleman to keep your line. You misbehave, he'll slap you down. So, is that how it is, says Batman. You can just see, I'll do what I have to do, says Superman. And Batman just stares at him. And Superman, of course, stares back. So you two work it out. I got a plane to catch back to Washington. Try not to kill each other, okay? So, Batman, Bruce. I read on the telex about your ward, Jason Todd, being killed in Ethiopia warehouse fire. Was he Robin? Yes, I loved how the eyes go black. Jim Aparo, I like to compare him as the John Romita of DC. So, except during the um 80s, John Romita was just in the art department, but he wasn't really drawing comic books. So Jim Aparo was really, really good. During the 70s, he was up there as much as anyone else. But it's just that his stuff kind of became dated in the 80s. I think they kept him on Batman, and it just when you see other people kind of drawing, particularly with what Marvel was doing, it started to make him feel dated. So, but Jim Aparo is a wonderful, wonderful penciler. So, Superman says, I'm sorry to hear that. He seemed like a really nice kid. He was, says Batman. Jason was the best. The Joker murdered him. I don't know if he was the best, but that's okay. You have proof, says Superman. A deathbed statement by his mother. Good enough for me, if not a court of law. And Superman says, but the Joker's immunized from a retribution for that and any other crime he's ever committed. And Batman says, that's the law, not justice. And it's actually true. People confuse justice and the law. That is not true. Just like I don't believe the name the Justice Department. It's something that is called. The law and justice are two separate things. Justice is a concept. My version of justice and your version of justice are two completely separate things. Justice cannot is different for different people. The law is equal. So, that is a statement I agree to or agree with 1000%. And Superman says, don't do anything stupid, Bruce. So, Superman continues, you can't put your thirst for vengeance above above your country's best interest. Spare me your Boy Scout sentimentalities, Kent. To use your own words, I'll do what I have to do. So, here's the quick thing. So, in the early 2000s, they started with the first name thing. With superheroes all calling each other based on their first names. However, I never believed Batman would call Superman Clark. I grew up with him calling him Kent. That is, to me, when you look at the attitude of Batman, I just don't see. I can see him calling Wonder Woman Diana, but everyone else, like he would call the Flash, West. Oh, I'm thinking of Wally West. Sorry, not Barry. So he'd say things like Allen, or he would use men's last name because I just don't see him. So that is actually so when I hear Superman speaking, I would hear him say Ken, and it just always bothered me when they started using first names. Maybe with a little luck, we'll not find ourselves at cross purposes. And Superman thinks, I wonder why I always have the feeling he knows something I don't. And so we continue with the first person narration here. Back in my hotel room, I see what my federal contacts can do about getting me into the General Assembly as Bruce Wayne. My reputation as a playboy dilettante keeps me from obtaining a position as a delegate, but they managed to squeeze me as an unofficial observer. Now I can keep an eye on the Joker without making the State Department nervous. The fools, he says so. Looks like this is it. The final showdown between the Joker and myself. Guess I always knew it would someday come to this. One of us is going to die. But is that really what I have to see happen? The man hopelessly insane. How could I hold him responsible even for what happened to Jason? Or am I looking for a cop-out? Admit it, Wayne. The Joker's come close to finishing off dozens of times. Too close. But you're still not back to totally efficiency after that encounter you had with Deacon Blackfire. So I have covered that series. It's Batman the Cult. You're too emotionally involved, not thinking straight. Maybe it'd be best to let Superman handle this. That way you won't do something you'll regret for the rest of your life. But he murdered Jason, and so you can see here, you see he looks at the Batman stuff, but then he throws his Batman or puts on the suit and takes off Bruce Wayne. So I love that sequence here. The lights are still burning in the windows of the Iranian mission to the UN. I'm sure the ambassador is up. He's rumored to be an insomniac. Insomniac. And so, everything is arranged for you to speak before the General Assembly tomorrow night, sir. We're ready also. Tomorrow night, says the Joker. I love Jim Aparo's way of doing the freaking chin. It just kills me. UN security insisted it be so. They fear they fear you and are limiting access to your speech. No one will be allowed in the gallery. And the Joker says, smart move on their part. Not that it'll do them much good. Too bad about there being no audience, though. It would have been delicious to have a large crowd of spectators. I just love large dead crowds. That will be all for tonight. Sweet dreams, Abdul. Yes, sir. Yassar, sir. Sorry. Whatever, says. Yes, large dead crowds. And suddenly, don't do it, Joker. And you can see his eyes here. This is so cartoony. This big long. I'm giving you one last chance. Return to Arkham Asylum and turn yourself in. And if I don't, says Joker, what are you gonna do about it? Let your assistant handle it? This just looks so awesome. Batman just stares. I'd have loved to have seen your face when you found what was left of the brat. Set you off the deep end, did it? You see, even a madman can add 2 plus 2 and come up with 5. Or maybe you're glad to be rid of the little darlings. You always know exactly the wrong thing to say, don't you? And look at him just kind of teasing Batman here. That's what makes me so special. Very well. Have it your way, says Batman. I'll be seeing you around. By the way, thanks. And he goes, huh? Thanks. Thanks for what? Asks the Joker. Up until now, I wasn't absolutely certain that you were responsible for what happened to Jason. You're confirming it makes what I have to do a lot easier. And Joker says, so that's how it's going to be, hey? Want to play tough, do we? And you can see him here reaching for the gun. And here he's got okay, let's Mambo. And Batman disappears. And Joker says, I hate it when he does that. So, but he does make life worth living. I'm all in a tingle, he says. Won't be able to sleep a wink. Can't wait until tomorrow night. And so here we have the United Nations, and he's in the General Assembly chamber. This is the august body of men and women the Joker plans to massacre. The powers that be have ordered me to do nothing to stop the slaughter. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Nothing. But afterwards, the Joker is mine. And so this guy here says, you picked a great day to start as an observer, Bruce. The Joker's speaking tonight. Far out, huh? Very. Would have missed it for the world. Hey, here he comes now. Will you look at him? So here's the Joker. He's, of course, dressed in colorful garb. I don't think that's how they would be dressed, but that's all right. All I know is that he is death personified. I've lost track of how many he's murdered over the years. But it all ends tonight. No more killings, no more Jokers. Haven't we read that before? You don't get rid of the Joker. So, he stopped. What is he staring at? Does he recognize me? Does he know who I am? I may never know. I'm feeling a terrible sense of finality. So, we've been linked to each other for so long, neither of us truly understands the bond. And the same face is here. That's awesome. And the Joker laughs. Very, I should have terminated his vile existence years ago, but I didn't. I couldn't. His insanity gained him a stay of execution. But no longer. He's become too dangerous. His crimes too heinous. We'll move on. Jason's dead. And so Here we go. It's a great honor for me to be here tonight. I'm so proud to speak for the great Islamic Republic of Iran. That country's current leaders and I have a lot in common: insanity and a great love of fish. But unfortunately, we've also come to share a mutual problem. We get no respect. Everyone thinks of Iran as the home of the terrorist zealot, but they say even worse things about me. Would you believe? We've both suffered unkind abuse and belittlement. Well, we aren't going to take it anymore. You'll no longer be allowed to kick us around. In fact, you aren't going to be able to kick anyone around ever again, says the Joker. Say goodnight, Gracie. And so he takes all that off, and he's wearing his canisters here. The sheep finally realize they've been led to the slaughter. Gas. But you see someone coming behind. The Joker's lethal laughing gas. But just as I figured, I don't have to lift a finger to save the day. What? And so we know who this is. I knew the Boy Scout wouldn't let me down. You're too late. My gas will still take out these pompous fools. Don't bet on it. And Superman begins to inhale all of it here, and he's taking it all in. Batman says, even I'm impressed. Superman, no fair. Oh, sorry. Superham, no fair. You're not supposed to meddle in my affairs. Unfair, unfair. Batman, he's all yours. I've got to find some place to get rid of this gas. Foul, says the Joker. I call a foul. Everyone must be penalized for cheating. You'll see the Joker is not going to take this lying down. Not when I have a plan B to fall back on. And he presses this, and there's you see an explosion here. The Joker obviously had his henchmen plant these explosives earlier in the day. The monster always has another trick up his sleeve. Always another deadly trick. Nothing like a little death, destruction, and smoke to make an exit on. Not this time, Joker. Give it up. I can't, he says, and Batman tackles him. And you can see the two are going to get into a fight here. Have a little going away present, Batsy, old boy. And he ends up killing this person. Another innocent sacrifice to the Joker's mania. Wherever he goes, death. So, another hapless victim to haunt my sleep. Let there be an end to it. No more. Running will do you no good, Joker. No matter where you flee, I will be right behind you. And his people are there. Move it. Get us out of here. No escape, says Batman as he jumps up. You killed Jason. Jason. So he's hanging on to the helicopter here. Goes through. And we're going to have a fight here. The guy grabs the gun. And Joker's like, no! And he fires at everyone here, hitting Batman in the arm and Joker in the chest here. The panicked Arab's gunfire is indiscriminate, not caring who it strikes. One slug takes the back of the pilot's head. The gunman immediately realizes his mistake, and Batman punches him. Not quite. The way I imagined the scenario ending. I'll be lucky to escape with my life. Farewell, old foe. And the Joker kind of laughs, and Batman jumps out. And the helicopter crashes and then explodes. Find his body. But I know they won't. That's the way it always ends with the Joker and me. Unresolved. Kind of just kind of like an way to end the story, but that's all right. We'll kind of get another bit of an aftermath to continue to finish up Jim Starlin's run. So, Batman 429. The Death in the Family concludes. Jim Starlin and Jim Aparo with Mike DiCarlo as the inker. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.